Okay, we're back. It's the worst thing that could happen when you're streaming. Literally the worst thing. Okay. Jesus. We're back. Oh, he has confusion. Oh, okay. It's literally the worst thing that can happen when you're a streamer. For your internet to just die. Oh my god, man. It's a terrible feeling. I don't know. I gotta move out soon or something. Alright. Oh, this guy just says Rydle 30 times. There we go. Ooh, a Groudon. Raichu would do really good here, but he's too weak right now. He's like level 8 or whatever. I guess Rock Tomb? And we're good. Hey, he's level 10. Okay. Wally. Get out of my face, Wally. Okay. Seems like no one's made it back. But, hey, there it is. What's up, Diego? I'm sorry. Look, my stream died, my internet died, and, it's one of the most annoying things that can happen, you know what I mean? Like, what's more annoying than as a streamer? Shedinja! The amount of Shedinjas we go up against. Thanks for double points, though. Yeah, you're welcome, I guess. Electric. We're getting an okay amount of XP here. Almost a 10k, really? Jesus, 100k is a lot, isn't it? I say it so often, but I don't do anything about it. Let's Vital Throw you. Let's go, Step Chew. Ooh, Quilava. Rock is super effective, right? Yeah. Yo. Let's go! If my stream dies one more time, though, we are not. The stream's gonna end tonight because I'm gonna be so sad. Welcome back, Chi. Jesus. It's like a streamer's worst nightmare when the stream dies, when the internet dies, you know what I'm saying? Alright, there we go. Let's go get the mail, Harbor Mail. We are not, no Gardic. We might do some Gardic. Wait, so what happens if you lurk? Are you still on the channel? I don't know how it works. Like, after it died. Alright, let's see. Harbor Mail. Oh, they probably have Harbor Mail here. Oh my god, she's so useless. Oh, she gave me a powder jar. Oh, that's kind of cool. And that guy was useless. Can anyone be useful and give me Harbor Mail? I probably have to go to the mall. But let's see what else we could get here. Ooh, maybe here. Bro, I don't want no doll. Get out of my face. If you lurk, you are still on the channel, but audio and video settings are turned down a lot, I think. Wait, what? Oh, no. I know how, like what lurking is. Like, lurking means you're there, but you're not actually there. But, like, there's no actual setting for that, right? But if, like, the channel, like, what just happened, internet dies, and goes offline, and then it comes back. Oh, is that what you're saying would happen? You think? Here's the Harbor Mail. I don't want no more than one of these. Oh, we need more. You know what I almost forgot, which would have been terrible? Great Balls. Oh my god. Imagine we forgot Great Balls. Imagine, like, seeing a legendary and not being able to catch him just because we don't have Great Balls. That would be terrible. I keep forgetting I have a bike. Alright. I remember trying to get speed records here with the bicycle. Like, to try to feel like a cool kid. There's probably, like, a world record for the fastest bike thing on this game. Ultra Balls are only double as good as normal. Really? Still pretty good. So I'm guessing Great Balls are not that much better than regular Pokeballs, huh? Alright, let's... I didn't mean to go in. Yes. I got you, stupid mail. Oh, wrong person. I didn't mean to go in. I have mail for you. Yes! Now we could gamble like all of you guys want to do on this channel sometimes. Maybe not all of you, but some of you. Alright. I have no coins. Yes, coins are needed. Thanks for telling me. Yes! You gave me coins. Oh, you could buy coins with money. In-game currency. Does she give me a doll for free? Let's go. Let's go. The cool thing is we could fast forward, so it's kind of cheating, but we'll do a bit of it. Wait, did we win? Oh! What did we win? Oh, I remember how to do this now. I used to do this a lot. Can you actually time it? Yeah, I don't know. I tried getting a record on the track back in the day, right? It's kind of hard when you're emulating on a phone. Sky Pillar for that. I never tried on Sky Pillar, but I did try on... Ooh. I have tried on the biking one for sure. Ooh, Lotad. Bro, can we get some 7-ups here? Alright, this is not useful. I might do this on my own time, outside of stream. Let's just use all our credits. I'm trying to teach you guys, alright, that gambling is not good. You see? You lose all your money just like that. So don't gamble, kids. Unless you get free coins from people. Or money. Then do what you want, I guess. Ooh, rollout. He teaches rollout? Ooh. Ooh, Step 2 getting rollout. That could be interesting. Wait, Raichu. Let me look. Rollout. Rollout is physical, right? Gen 3. Rollouts. Here. Rollout is not that bad, right? I'll look at chat in a second, but I'm trying to find this information here. Rollout deals 5 damage, blue, blah, blah, blah. The move stops. Okay. Okay, it is physical, yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense. Gambling is great. No, it's not. No. Now, how about Raichu? Is Raichu physical? Raichu stats. Let's see. Raichu is special and physical is the same, so it might depend on the nature. Let's check his nature first. See what his nature is. Let's see. Oh, he has the same attack and special. He's sassy. I don't know what that gives, but okay. So if he has the same, then I'll teach him rollout. Electric is a special type? Yeah, but it depends on the Pokemon, right? Oh, he has such good moves already. I can't believe he has a Thunderbolt. That's so crazy to me. I could take out Tail Whip to give him rollout. It depends on the move. What? Wait, rollout is a physical move. But Step 2 has physical and special attack the same. So it doesn't matter. What do you mean? The Pokemon's type is only important for moves for stab? Yeah, I know that. That's why I'm saying his stats. I looked at his stats. His physical and special attack are the same. So it doesn't matter if I add a physical type move to him. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying the Pokemon's type. I know how stab works. Yeah, same type. Bro, I'm not that much of a noob. Yeah, it doesn't matter, yeah. I'll take out... I should have taken out Thundershock, but... For PP, I guess it's good. Alright. This is considered a new route, I think. Yeah. We do have daycare, which is nice. We'll probably put Dodo in daycare because why not? He could actually be useful in the future. I guess Cleffa is smarter to put in the daycare, but I'm not doing it. You're gonna raise my big bird. Better make him sexy. Alright, that's it. I don't want to pay you too much, so that's it for now. Wait, let me get my boy back. You know, we need him. I'm doing things too fast. We need him just in case. Let's go. Okay, she does nothing. Yes. Oh my god, I was really surprised. There's a guy here. Before we reverse him, let's get some berries, baby. There's a lot to do here. There's actually a lot to do in this game, I feel like. Or there's like a lot of routes and a lot of Pokemon, which is pretty cool. Because you feel like you're doing, like, this is still early game, which is pretty, like, amazing to me. Alright, let's talk to you, big boy. There you go. What you got? A Wailmore? Nothing. That literally means nothing to... Oh, you're still alive. Ew, you have Rollout. Bye. Die. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, this guy has like six Pokemon. But they're all weak. Let's go. They're all level 11, so I might be able to use Stepchu here more often. Ooh, perfect! Against Aerodactyl. Wait, what defeats a Stepchu? Ground? What beats Raichu? Oh my god. Why does Pokemon Go come up as everything? It's so annoying. Yeah, it's only ground. Okay. It does ground, yeah. Yeah, I don't think he has like Earthquake or something at level 11. Just gonna Thunderbolt you, bro. Oh, Stepchu is so sexy. Level 14 and went up 3 levels? Oh, hell yeah. Alakazam is a bit... I mean, you know what? I believe in you, Stepchu. I don't think Alakazam will take us out. Leader Forest. Pretty scary Pokemon, but... Let's go. Okay, it did a little more than I thought, but... Like, I personally like Pokemon Go, but I hate it when... Yes, exactly. Like, Pokemon Go is a good game. When they added too many events that you could catch shiny Pokemon easily, that kind of annoyed me. Because it felt special before then. So I stopped playing it. But yeah, when I search stuff up, Pokemon stuff, and Pokemon Go stuff pops up, it annoys me. Because it's like, Ho-Oh. It's like incorrect information sometimes. I think Stepchu could take out Ho-Oh with Thunderbolt. Because he's flying, right? Flying fire or something? No. He whirlwinded. That scared me for a second. I don't even remember. I forgot Mommy exists. Mommy could rock throw. Let's go. Easy. We're faster too. I'd like to change back to my Stepchu though. Level 15. Jesus. Ooh, Nuzleaf. We'll just go with Daddy here because I'm stupid. Probably could have taken him out, but with just want to go super effective here. Igglybuff. For Igglybuff, we'll go back to Stepchu. Stepchu is gonna level up quite a bit here, hopefully. Maybe I put the Lucky... Maybe it would be smarter to put Lucky Egg on him right now. For this guy specifically. He registers with you too, yeah. Oh, I almost ran into a double battle without thinking. That wouldn't have been good. I'd like to finish at least one more battle before finishing for today's run. Or whatever. One more gym battle. Hey, what's up, Cashew? My name is Peepee. Actually, my character's name is Ping. But yeah. What'd you got? Oh, you got nothing. You suck. How you doing, Cashew? You don't suck. Cashew lives are awesome. Wow, Fake Out did a lot. Huh. I'm kind of tempted to take out my other boy, but this should be fine. Stepchu's level 16, baby! I have fully evolved, guys. Yeah, well, your name is Cashew. But But yeah, how's life? All these people want to register us. I remember one of these. What? How'd you see me? One of these guys had a bunch of Pokemon too. Apparently not this one. Jesus, Fake Out just demolished her. I don't think this one even fights you. Let's just do 1v1 here. Electrode, that should be fine. Uber Eats, I haven't gone in like a week. I keep like pushing it off. Hopefully I go tomorrow. But yeah. We're gonna 1v1. I don't want to take any risks here. Oh my god, he's gonna have Explosion. Guys, he's gonna have Explosion. Oh, doesn't get to use it. Haha! Let's go. Soul Rock. That could have been slightly annoying. Ooh. Confusion. I'm not gonna die by Confusion. Get out of my face. Easy. A Magnet. Ooh, Magnet helps electric Pokemon, right? Oh, I'm so hungry now, Cashew. The Five Guys order. I told you how it is. I gave you the order. What are you talking about? Sorry? Why are you sorry? I gave it to you. You didn't even tip me well. Oh, Uber Eats? Bro, you can make fun of me. I don't care. I don't care. Listen, I'm making money from it, so. Jesus. I remember this guy being annoying. Right now, he's not annoying, though. Oh, I just remembered. Pokemon up to level 30. I keep forgetting to use, Ooh, Charizard. Pokemon up to level 30 obey me, so I might have to verse the gym soon. I'm sorry for making you hungry. Bro, I am hungry. Other people were mentioning also food. Okay, Thunderbolt should do quick work on Charizard. Let's go, baby! Give me a bunch of XP. Hell yeah! Oh my god, I love you, Raichu. Deep Sea Scale. What does that do? Actually, I'm not sure. Yo, can you fight me? She has a lot of... Yeah, she has a lot too. Kingler. Ooh, a lot of Pokemon too. We're gonna get Stepchew up there, bro. Whoa. That did kind of a lot of damage. His Thunderbolt is gonna be such a big ass at. Diglett. Diglett actually could take him out. We'll go with Sun. I would do Uber Eats or DoorDash, but I'm afraid of driving. Bike, like I did. I don't know if you would want to bike, but... Rock Tomb... Just demolished him. Oh my god, it's so fun to have something that takes out water Pokemon now. Like, Kyogre is not as scary now. Oh, Spheal, I didn't read that correctly. We should still kill it pretty easily. Yeah. Depends how far the deliveries are. I should... Wait, it's a normal type. What was I doing? No? Or maybe not. Onyx! Onyx is fine. Just gonna fight him. There we go. Fighting just kills everything sometimes. Let's go! Verdant Turf, baby! Now you're gonna get an Outrage Rayquaza. Oh my god, that's true! I didn't even think of that. That could be scary. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, exactly. Also, you could do walking for Uber Eats, and they also limit the distance. But unless you live in a very big city, even in New York, you don't get many deliveries because, what's the chances that someone's gonna order pizza a block away? You know, they still have it though. I think we have enough super potions and antidotes and stuff. I'm feeling pretty good about our team for now, surprisingly. That's the battle tower. I think we could get something here. Oh my god, the Elite Four. Yeah, I know how that works. I'm not a noob. Okay. Ugh, disgusting Wally's parents. I mean, his parents are okay, but I don't like Wally. I used to like him a lot. But then when I was doing the other Nuzlocke, we lost the Pokemon too. Fanfi is ground or rock? Yeah, I think he's ground. That's why I switched out and got a little scared. Okay, so there's not much you could do here. Can't catch any Pokemon here. This is still Rock Turf Tunnel or whatever. Rust Turf Tunnel. Yeah, so we can't catch anything there. We could verse the trainers there, but we're actually going to verse the trainers there. Because we have access to it now. We don't have Rock Smash. I think we get... I think we get... When do we get Rock Smash? We mentioned it before. I already forgot. I didn't like Wally until near the end of Oris. Was Oris the first... Did you play Oris before Emerald? I have to drive to school, but I don't like driving new places. That makes sense. I mean, when did you start driving? Kind of recently, I would assume. Blaziken. Sheesh. Let's put Sun out here. Ember with a critical hit. Let's go. Sun is level 29. Ooh, he's trying to learn Knockoff. Knockoff only does 20. It takes off items, which is actually very useful against gym leaders. So I might take out Sand Attack or even Fake Out for it. I mean, Fake Out gets that first turn, first strike advantage. I think I'm going to take out Sand Attack. Emeralds was your first game. Okay. So did you not like Emeralds and a Wally and Emerald? Basically a week or two before school. Oh, damn. So really recently. Damn. Yeah. I mean, I don't have a license, but I've drove before because I'm a cool kid. No, but I know people who Jesus, this is not a good matchup. What am I doing? I know people who drive and like I was with them when they first started driving. It's just time. You're going to get better in time and you're going to be more comfortable behind the wheel. But yeah, I could see why you wouldn't like doing it. August 13th is when I got my license. Yeah, that's pretty... I mean, I would say for watching my cousins and stuff, it probably took them like a year to get comfortable behind the wheel. Wally felt kind of boring in lame in Emerald. But in Oris, he was cool. Wait, why? Oh, wait, Oris is Alpha Sapphire. Yeah. Oh, I guess in Ruby and Sapphire he is different, right? I don't remember how he's different, but he is different. Oh my god, Bubble. That hurts so much. Oh. No, don't hit yourself. There we go. Haha. Imagine losing to these losers. There's a spot here. This is not a good place to bike. Permit for 3 years before that? Oh. Oh, so you should be comfortable driving. But I would say permit is... Oh, this is... He lost his glasses. I would say permit is different though, because permit you're probably not driving as much with a permit. You can't drive at night with a permit. I think at least in New York that's how it is. So like, Jesus, aren't your glasses supposed to be right next to you? I feel like with randomizers... Oh, there it is. That is not your glasses. Are these your glasses, bro? Huh? He just walks away? Okay. Oh well. I was abusing having outrage Rayquaza to beat everything. Oh, like 100% understandable, bro. Rayquaza's so sexy. Rayquaza's probably my favorite Pokemon. You know? Well, Wally's fight before the, I think it's before Victor roll. Yes! It's cool in Poggers and Auras. It's cool in... Yeah, no, it's at the end of Victory Road, I think. Or in the beginning. You might be right. I don't really remember. I'm stupid. I just realized I'm an idiot. Guys, this is Route 117. Did I go into the grass at all? I went into the grass here. I ran into a Pokemon, didn't I? Wait, did I run into a Pokemon, guys? Because if I did, I can't catch a Pokemon now because I'm an idiot. This is a new route. Oh my god. I think I did. I'll have to check the VOD afterward, but... Oh no. Oh no, I have to pay attention. Oh god, let me route 117. I think I did. This is a random Nuzlocke, yeah. My first. That's it. I'm a Nuzlocke Pokemon Nuzlocke streamer from now on. Catch you. Hell yeah, right? Or maybe not, but and community games from time to time, but mostly Pokemon and stuff. We're gonna heal and Nuzlocks in particular. There we go. I can't wait till Brilliant Diamond comes out. New Pokemon game, Pog. Alright, let's kill this guy. Ooh, perfect! Perfect. Get out of here. Machoke. Machoke on this Machoke? You know what? I'm gonna use Step. I believe in Step, bro. Step Chew. Ooh. Oh, I could have quick attacked. That was dumb, but whatever. I love your stream layout. Right? I made it myself on Photoshop. Aren't you proud of me? Does it automatically update your party and badges? It automatically updates party, not badges. There's an amazing guy who made this, and he's updating it very frequently. He's a streamer as well. If you DM me on Discord, I could tell you more details, because I can't remember on the top of my head. How long have you been streaming for? I do mind you asking. Just kidding. First, how long do you think that I've been streaming for? Haha. What's up, Trisket Biscuit? How you doing, bro? Wait, what route is this again? Oh wait, this. Oh no, this route 118, not 117. I'm dumb. I don't. We don't. Oh, we should heal technically, right, you? How you doing, bro? How you doing? 6 to 18 months. That's a very big range, but yeah. I started. So I came back from Japan where I was teaching English, and I started doing YouTube videos before streaming. Then I got into streaming, and then I started streaming on Twitch around February of last year. Of this year? Of this year. Of last year. I don't know. Less than a year. I've been streaming for less than a year. But I'm a beast streamer. Wait, what route is this? So it's okay. 3 months at least. That's funny. We vibing and chilling, waiting for a VOD to download. Hell yeah. Do you know the origin of the name Trisket? It's an interesting thing to mention. Wait, this is Route 111. We haven't caught a Pokemon here. Let's see if we could bypass everything and catch a Pokemon. Ooh, we can. Hell yeah. Alright, let's put Route 111 down. Gonna catch a Pokemon right here, baby. It better be a sexy Pokemon. Oh, I should put a guy that could block escapes. I forgot about that. Not even a nibble. The way they were set apart from other biscuits. Wait, Trisket is an actual word? Why is the Trisket upset? These are all amazing questions that he may be able to answer. Bruh, Sandslash? Okay, so we got Sandslash on a previous run. If we catch him now, she doesn't count as a duplicate, right? So we could catch her. Sandslash is not bad. I don't really care for it, though, to be honest. I'm gonna quick attack. If you survive, I'll catch you. Oh, okay. I'll catch you. Was that they were made with electricity? Oh my god. This is so punny. Alright, Great Ball should catch you, bro. Come on. Stop playing. Let's go. What are we naming her? What? Triskets were made with electricity? What is this nonsense? I learn something new every day. I just realized Sandslash is a mouse Pokemon like Pikachu. So we're gonna name him Mouse. I'm not waiting for you guys. Mouse. We'll go Mouse. Sorry, y'all. Mouse is gone. Static encounters count too, but we can't smash that. Just like I can't smash your mom. What? Anyway. Okay. What are you gonna have, girl? A Piloswine? Oh, that could actually harm me. I want a water guy. I want a water or grass guy. That would be nice. It's a pangolin? It's not a mouse? It said it was a mouse Pokemon. Was that a big selling point when they were first created? It's a good question. Oh my god. Can you... Oh, he's an... Oh yeah, he's an ice guy. I forgot. You can if you want to. Ooh. I already named him Mouse. Sorry, bro. Stepchew's level 21? Bro, he's already a viable character. Guy. Daddy's still daddy, though. Daddy needs to be number 1. Let's go, baby. What is this? Ultra Ball. Let's go. Oh, no. That was an accident. Okay. Thankfully, you have... Politoed. I always got confused with Politoed. Politoed weakness. Not Pokemon Stupid Go. It's just a water type? It's just a water type? I didn't realize that. My eyes are like melting. What'd I miss? You missed quite a bit, actually. Are you like smoking weed? Why are your eyes melting? Because you're looking at the VOD. Sandslash may say it's a mouse Pokemon, but it's based off the pangolin. Oh, that's what you're saying. That's not even a lie. They were talking about your name and where it came from. Why are you upset? We're just gonna do this. And then Steel Wing this. Because I'm assuming Stepchew could take out Politoed on its own. Oh, come on. Come on my butt, bro. Oh, they both missed their attacks. Let's just quick attack and get rid of Magby. Ooh! Daddy! Scary Face. Bruh. Scary Face, surprisingly, can be very useful, guys. Because if there's someone faster, it's very useful in Nuzlocke, but we're not going to teach it to him because I don't care. My school nurse sent me home in middle school because she thought I was high. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and I look in the mirror and think to myself, did something make me be high? Why are my eyes completely red? Maybe you don't have much sleep. It's another way. Elite Four? Bro, we just versed the Elite Four. Jesus, that was fast. The titles are funny. I think we versed everyone on this route, which is... Oh no, besides the house. And we didn't go into that area, which, yeah. We have to do the house. We'll see what level the Pokemon are in the gym right now first, though. Don't do the house? Not yet? Yeah. I did the house last time I tried Nuzlocke, and I took it out very easily, but yeah, not yet. It's after getting good sleep. Oh, yeah, I don't know why then. Gee. Anyway, we're gonna go here and see what the first feature... That was an accident. Let's see what you have. Goddonna. Eradicate. Level 17. Kind of high. Not gonna lie, kind of high. Hyperfang is a freaking good move. I completely forgot about it. 420, baby. We were just speaking about that, too. Manectric. We need a ground Pokemon or ground move. Manectric. We'll take out Sun. I just realized how overpowered, how over-leveled some of our guys are. Wait, why'd I use Fake Out? I'm an idiot. Alright, let's verse you. Ooh, interesting. Pinsir. We should be fine with Sun. When is the prefix God used in Emeralds normally? That's such a good question. Why is there a God? I mean, not why is there a God, but you know what I mean. Oh, okay. I thought it might crit hit because of the focus energy and it could be bad, you know what I mean? That was fine, though. Porygon 2. We'll just keep you out, baby. You have Psybeam? Oh, it's fine. You're dead. We're so lucky that they're kind of over-leveled. We should actually be totally fine here. I'm going to start watching more if I want to get God Monkey, if you're still doing that, yeah? Don't look at God Monkey, though. The description. Oh, Oh, I forgot to put Nathan's name on screen for God Monkey. Thanks for reminding me, guys. I don't know where I would put it. I'm still doing it, but I think I'm going to have to change something about God Monkey. I'm definitely going to have to change something about God Monkey because the way it's working out right now. I think I'm going to lower the requirements to getting it, and I'm going to change, yeah. So many reminders to work on. I'll write it right now. God Monkey redo. I think 100k is too much for it. Why is your trainer prefix called God? True. The only thing I could think of is red. But I don't even remember if you versed red in this game. Alright, let's go back here. Dude. Because I'm everyone's least favorite snack food. Is that actually the reasoning behind your name? We're going for a double battle. I'm not scared. What do you got? Skarmory and Slowpoke. Yo, let's go. These matchups are actually awesome for Stepchu. And Fire beats Steel, right? Hopefully it one-shots. Let's go. I actually remember things. I don't like Triscuits so much. Not mine. I knocked in my chair for a second, so excuse me. I've never had them. Yeah, I don't know if I've had it. Whoa, an Espeon. It's the first time we saw that this time around. Espeon won't do much to either of our guys here, right? We should be fine here. What's the other Pokemon? Vulpix? Again, I wish we had a water guy, kind of. I'm gonna get rid of the Espeon first, just because it's... I don't like the way it's looking at me. Ooh, it's using Helping Hands. Okay, well. That worked out. Oh my god. What? No! No! Guys, Regirock has Explosion usually. No, 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 no. We're gonna go with Mommy. I don't care if Mommy dies. Switch to God? He might have a rock move, though. Yeah, there we go. It's good I didn't switch to God. I got rid of that. Don't change God Monkey until I force you to play level head, okay? Okay. Angry because I'm white with a temper. Oh, that makes sense. That's why the emote is like a cracker that's like angry. That actually makes sense. What do we... I don't know what to do here. I'm still scared it has Explosion and it's just not using it because it's an asshole. I guess Sun should be fine. Bro, come on! Don't kill him! Oh my god, what is that timing? Yo, if we weren't level 29, we would have gotten killed for sure. Jesus Christ, what's wrong with this game? Imagine going up against 3 Reggies, like in the Elite Four, or like against a gym leader. That would be so annoying. That's all the validation I need to stick by that dumbass name. I like it. I like the name. Yeah, this will be easy. Hopefully, oh, he's an elite trainer, Elite Four trainer apparently. Alright, we're just gonna levels on the layout need some updating. Wait, really? Oh my god, I'm an idiot. You know why? Thank you for pointing that out and paying attention. It's literally because of the it's because of the stream, my internet went down before, so it didn't update. Thank you for pointing that out. Honestly, arigato gozaimasu. Watch, I fix everything in life. Watch this. You guys ready? Just let me press Control A. Watch this. You ready? 3, 2, 1. Boom! Everything's updated. Wait, is it? It should be updated. I'm gonna assume it's updated. I don't know. Alright. I'll catch some Pokemans. Good night, bro. Thanks for popping in. I appreciate it, Jared. Catch you put in the Discord and look at you being a nice person. This seems like a very active and cool community. Shut up, Cashew. Are you not in the Discord? You're in the Discord now. Are you... Bro, he's pretending to be like not in the Discord to like push new people to join the Discord. That's like 10,000 IQ right there. All right. Diego be like Augustus. All right. Watson. Pokemon Emerald. Obviously, it's a randomizer, so we don't know what Pokemon he's gonna have, but we should know the levels, and that's important. Okay, Pokemon Emerald. Pokemon Emerald, Watson, show. Oh, come on, Pokemon Bulbapedia.com. It's not showing me the information. Watson. I want to know. Oh, there we go. He has 4 Pokemon. His highest guy's level 24. That's actually kind of high. That's actually pretty high, guys. Discord command summon Diego. True. Huh. 24. Level 24. Our highest guy is 27, 29. We should be okay, theoretically. I think Sun is good to push out first because of his knockoff, and he's the highest level guy. It's still a bit scary. We could verse the house for XP. Ooh, let's do cut and verse the guys down there before versing the gym leader. Because most likely after the gym leader, we'll probably move on to community games or call it a night or something. So. Where's the cut? There were guys that you could verse with cut somewhere. Oh, it's all the way down. Do I want to really go all the way down? No, F it. We're just gonna verse Watson. Oh, we have been here. I need to start streaming again, but all I've been playing is Cookie Clicker. Yo, stream it. Stream it for like 24 hours. I've seen people do crazy stuff like that. Gardic, maybe. There's such a big difference between Marvel City and Marvel City. What? Alright, let's see what happens. Please have easy Pokemon. Come on. You got 4 big boys. What the hell? Come on! What is this? Oh my god. Oh, the first Pokemon. Is his weakness ground? Yeah, he's just an electric, right? Wait, electric doesn't affect God, right? Or does it? I wrote it down. Electric doesn't affect God, so we could take out God, worst case scenario. He won't have a flying move, most likely, or a psychic move. He could maybe have a psychic move. I don't think he does. And what else kills Sun? There's one other thing. I always forget. Flying. Flying, psychic, and whatever. I don't think he'll have it. You have the worst luck. I know, right? See how far I can get. Do it, Kesha. It fits with this type theme. True. Nothing affects God. That's true, too. Alright, we're gonna fake out here. Let's see how much fake out we'll do. Okay. Okay, not bad, not bad. What is fighting against it? What is electric? What does fighting do, and what does rock do? Which one would do better, do you guys think? The thing with fighting is this is 100% accuracy. Marvel City. Oh, you meant... I gotcha. Ruby Sapphire versus the newer games, yeah. They do the same? Okay, we'll do Vital Throw then. Thank you for using Leer. Come on, son. Let's go, son. Alright, give us something easier for the next Pokemon, please. A Steelix. Okay. Okay, a Steelix. I think Sun is okay against the Steelix as well. If memory serves me correctly. You should really write down on something like a piece of paper the type matchups. I should. Oh, Steelix dies from fire, right? Ground fighting, water, fire, yeah. I knew he died from fighting, which is why I kept Sun out. But I probably should get Charizard out. Tackle. Okay. Alright, we're doing good. He's probably going to use a potion here. Good. Use your super potions, Fan Chloe. we need her to use, or him to use, all the potions, so the higher level guys are not as hard. He didn't use a potion on him second time, surprisingly. Okay, cool. Sun's gonna be level 30, which is kind of insane. Gonna have to train everyone else a bit more. Cast form. Huh. Cast form comes out as a normal, I think. So actually, Sun is actually demolishing them all. And it changes form based off the move you do on it, right? Much easier to remember things. Oh, it already transforms because it went first? Oh. And I still killed it. Yes, I played things when I was young, though, and I don't remember anything. I have terrible memory when it comes to certain things. I just love button mashing, I guess. Seadra, let's go! Seadra, thank you. Step 2 is going to get some XP. And they should be the same level, so this should be an interesting one. Cast form should have 3 weather moves plus a weather ball. That's why I'd used hail. Gotcha. Oh, the hail is still in effect. I forgot about that. Oh, this is the easiest gym battle of the 3. Or the second easiest, I guess. Yeah, water gun me. See if I care. Whoa, that did a lot. I kind of care. Step 2 is going to kill with Thunderbolts, most likely. Let's go! Easy, baby. Let's go! Oh, that's such a good feeling. Oh, that's what happens when you overlevel everyone. Get out of here, Chloe. Oh. Yes. Now I could use Rock Smash. Hell yeah. Ooh, what TM does he give? He gives some electric TM, right? Shockwave. I already have Thunderbolt on my Raichu. Raichu? I'm an idiot. I literally have basically no memory of past things past like 5 days ago max. Not including rare long-term memory. Brock Smash? Brock Smash. Because it's like Rock Smash, I get it. That's kind of funny. Alright. We're going to heal up and... actually, we're going to take on the family up top. I think we could take them on. Let's see if we could teach Rock Smash to anyone to become like a TM slave here. Or HM slave, rather. So I have cut on... yeah, we're not teaching that to any of them. We have cut on someone. F it, I don't care. Let's just verse the next... Let's just verse the house. The moment of truth. Mommy already learned to Rock Smash? Mommy's dead, no? Oh yeah, Mommy. You see, I already forgot. Marowak, level 16? Kinda high. I keep forgetting my guys are insanely high. High level. Oh, I tried to screen capture by accident. I thought I just ruined the whole thing. Jesus, that was scary. Alright, we'll fake out. Fake out is so strong against these sucks. Probably gonna change to Charizard as our first guy and put a lucky egg on him. Since Sun is... Oh, that was an accident! Sun is way too overpowered right now. Let's Vital Throw you. Banette. Banette could be bad for Sun, so let's get Daddy out here. Sun sweeped the gym before. Okay, come on. Easy, easy. Bring out your next... Bring out Mama. I'll kill Mother. Come on. I was a bit confused there. Bro, don't be confused. I don't know what I was trying to say there. Paris? Oh, come on, bro. Come on my butt. I'm gonna kill you with Fake Out. Are you serious, Mama? Get out of my face. I have Sun Out accidentally. This is not good. You're no longer confused? Okay. What is it? Sister? Sister's pretty hot. I'm not gonna lie. Come on, sister. She's pretty cute. Designer Kimberly. She's a designer. She has a Blaziken. I respect her. She hit herself in confusion, except didn't. Yeah, it happens. I'm literally double its level. I know what the next one is. Grandma's next. And Grandma's like, why... Oh, why do I use knockoff? Grandma's like, you made my granddaughter cry. Arcanine. Why do you have an Arcanine? Jesus, I love that Pokemon, but get out of here. Ludicolo. Ludicolo. Wow, Daddy's already around same level as Stepchu. I'm just gonna Ember you. Daddy, you need better moves already. Get out of here, sister. Come on, Grandma. Grandma is so sexy. She's gonna smack me. I like getting smacked. Look at that face. Look at that beautiful face of the grandma. You know, we're just gonna ignore that I said all that. You have a Magikarp? Oh, come on my butt, Grandma. What is this? I'm just gonna get Stepchu out here. Wow. I could train anyone right now, but I'm nice. You had a Magikarp? That's literally all you had? Oh god, you're terrible. Okay, I think they give us something nice. The mom gives us, or the sis? Oh, Macho Brace. Macho Brace? We got a Macho Brace. Oh, that lets you do only one move, but it's like much stronger, right? I think that's what it does. I don't 100% remember, to be honest. Alright, let's see. I'll check. Aw, thank you. Okay, so we do have Rock Smash with Mommy, I guess. Wait, no we don't. Oh, we do! I'm an idiot. You're so right. We do have Rock. No wonder it couldn't be taught to him. I'm an idiot. Okay. Static encounters count, by the way, so... The moment of truth. Yeah, it's nothing. Is this a new route? I don't think this guy versus you. Yeah. Oh, these are the cameramen. I remember the cameramen. A Groudon? Bro, come on, my butt. What is this? Alright, we're gonna fake out the Groudon because Jesus Christ, it's a Groudon. Please hit Steel Wing. Good. Oh my god. The hell? What is Sketch? What does that do? Oh, does it have Steel Wing now? I've never seen that. Mago Race is an item that doubles EVs of a Pokemon but reduces Pokemon's speed. Oh, that's actually mad good. You're clip. Every time I get surprised by a Pokemon, you clip it. I don't know what to do here. Are we gonna kill Groudon before it has a chance to do anything? Oh. Oh my god, if it hit Daddy, that could have been bad. There's the Steel Wing. Yeah, okay, we're fine. Oh my god, that could have been so bad. Alright, we're just gonna kill you. Oh. What was that person's name? I don't want an interview with you, you suck. I keep forgetting to change into Raichu. I mean Stepchu. I gotta do it this time. Shuppet. I don't care about no Shuppet. Yeah, we're gonna take off the Lucky Egg. Since our guys are actually getting really good, we're gonna give God. It kind of seems dumb to give him experience share, but I want to do it in case he has a good move. A Groudon? How about Daddy hits me? Ugh. No! Bad cashew. Just click your cookies. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. I have anger issues. Alright, so this is what we're gonna do. Gonna give Lucky Egg to... I mean, he levels up real quick. But might as well give it to him. And I gave him the wrong item. Item give Lucky Egg. And experience share, we could give it to Mommy. Mommy seems so useless to me. I'm sorry. Hopefully we'll get a better Pokemon. Oh my god, we're getting so lucky with type advantages here. Type setups. We defeated Elite Four again. Jesus. We could catch a Pokemon here. Oh, no, we can't. We need to get the glasses or whatever. Route 112. Route 112 is a new route, ladies and gentlemen. What will we catch here? The moment of truth. Ooh. Actually interesting. Sorry, it's okay, guys. You don't have to say sorry. Let's quick attack him. Okay. Alright, I actually... Not half bad, yeah. He should have grass moves, too. Is he all grass, or is he, like, grass ground? What typing is Executor? He has Confusion. That's actually pretty useful. We need Psychic moves. He might be useful on our team, like, as a long-term. Grass Psychic? Oh, okay. What does Grass Psychic lose to? What's this Barrage move? I've never seen this move. Which is really weird to me, because I've played this game a lot. Executor. Come on. What kills him? Fire, Dark. We have too many guys dying from Rock, so I think he's not going to die from Rock. What are we naming him, guys? Jesus, he dies by so much? I'm in. Okay. Fire. Ice. Dark. Ghost. Flying. Is he even worth keeping? Poison? Oh my god. Any name suggestions here? Executor, excuse me. Yeah, I'll look it up since you can't think of any more. Jesus, what a suck. He dies from Ghost. He said Fire, Ice, Dark, Ghost, Flying, Poison. Fire, Ice, Dark, Ghost, Flying, Poison. You forgot Bug. He dies from Bug, apparently. Oh, he dies from Bug 4 times. Nothing else 4 times. Jesus, what a loser. Do I even want to use this guy? You did get it correct. You forgot Bug, but you got it correct. Balltree. PP? I like PP. But he sucks. Why would I name him PP? How about... He's actually pretty good. Alright. We'll name him PP. Let's go add PP to the team. That was the correct route, right? I'm not dumb. That was Route 1... Oh, I wrote Route 112. Okay, that's good. I don't know what the hell that sound was, but... PP. If PP dies, it's over, because PP is ping pong, and I'm ping pong. Right, guys? That'd be a sad story. Jesus, every time I look at myself on stream, I want to cry. My shoulders look so scary, disgusting. Anyway. Now we're going to add PP on the screen, on the team. Alright. Who to delete? I mean, to get rid of. We also have Mouse, but... I guess... feels bad, man, but honestly, Nosepass sucks. I do need it for Rock Slash, though. Rock Smash. I need it to smash, you know? God is a definite stay. Mac's charm is just so tempting to raise it. And it's a normal, which means it would die from fighting only. I really think Mommy should go away. But then Daddy won't have a mommy, won't have a wife. Or God. This is such a hard decision. Because, like, Ground demolishes him. And him? Maybe? Huh. I don't know. 2 Pokemon already have Rock Smash. Oh, really? Wait, really? I don't think so. This guy has? Yeah, it's only him. He's the only one that has. Put it on Sandslash. Whenever I heard myself in recordings, I want to die. Oh, I got used to myself in recordings. After you edit like 50 YouTube videos, which I've edited probably a good amount, you get so used to your voice. Why Sandslash not on team and the pink one is? Because this one has Charm. And Charm could like charm people, which I like. But you're right. I guess we don't need Mac. Unfortunately for Mac. No, I didn't end up putting it on someone because you reminded me that Mommy had it. Hypnosis and Confusion. Okay. think that's fine. We're just gonna give him XP share so we actually have another Pokemon to use. We're gonna get rid of Mommy eventually. We just need her for Rock Smash for this area. Feels bad, man. Okay, this should be good. And I think we get Surf kind of soon. So we'll be able to surf here. Just want to make sure we didn't miss anything. Oh, we have Rock Smash, so we could connect the two. Let's connect this two, and then we'll go back up. Let's let them live together. I think they give us something. I don't remember what. Oh my god, I like to have this HM. Oh my god, so does he give us Surf already or Fly? Strength. You suck. I don't care. I don't care. I don't know why I thought he gives us something else. Diego's like ... Deep Sea Tooth. What does that do? I think we could just sell that. I don't think that does anything. Okay. Pretty much done with this. We flew through this area, surprisingly. Yeah. All we need now is that was actually very fast. I'm kind of surprised. May gives Fly, that's right. On your way to the Forest City, yeah. It's not called Forest City, is it? It's called something else, no? Alright, we can't go in the sand, but we could verse this guy. Curlia. You're just gonna die. I don't know why I put Rollout on him. Like, I realized Elite Four, Jesus. I realized afterwards that Rollout, you can't stop it after using it once. So if the enemy Pokemon has a Pokemon move that you don't realize, it could like screw you up. Fortree, yeah, it's like Fortree or something. Pig rhymes with ping. Are you calling me a pig? Are you calling me a cop? Just kidding, just kidding. I did say the Forest City. Oh yeah, you did say that. So little. I haven't streamed much, but you weren't around in the beginning of you weren't around much in the beginning of the month, Diego, because you went on vacation, remember? Geodude. Geodude, more like Geo Schmood. Wait, what level is it? It's only level 17. Wow, I can't attack it. I don't know why I was thinking for so long. We'll get Sun out here. Sun, use some Vital Throws, baby. Let's go. Shedinja. Yeah, I'm just gonna use Daddy on Shedinja. Let's use Daddy here. Easy. This guy has a bunch of... yeah. Ooh, Dratini. That's a sexy Pokemon. Haha, you just leered. Let's see if Quick Attack kills it. Oh, it did. I did not pay attention. Oh, yes! Look at this Pokemon. So lucky. Lucky cocky right here. Die. Fast forwarding is so nice. Is it annoying to you guys that I'm fast forwarding? Or do you guys prefer it? Or do you guys not care? Our guys are insanely good. But we only have a few guys right now. Let's go. Let's go. Kyogre. You, Kyogre, I hate you. You ruined our first run. We didn't lose a Pokemon this time, though, which is pretty cool. Oh, I didn't pay attention. Spinda, you'll die. Level 17. Start using him. Fast forward is better? Okay. Another Kyogre. If not, it would be so boring. Okay. Good.
Oh, I get it. That's why the rest of the crew went to Fowlerborn. You got it.
We could just kill them with our Pokemon. We got pretty strong Pokemon. This counts as a new route. Guys, this counts as a new route. What are we gonna get? Ooh, we could strength now too. I completely like forgot. I don't remember what's behind this, but might as well boot it up for our sucky mommy. She sucks a lot because Daddy's with her, you know? I mean, what? What are you talking about? Let's get rid of Rock Throw. Not Slugma, hopefully. Alright, come on. Push it! Ugh, we need the next gym badge to push it, don't we? Aren't there Pokemon in this Are there no Pokemon here? Am I stupid? Fury Path Pokemon. There are a variety of... Yeah, there are Pokemon here. Yeah, there are. Such as Slugma. Well, it's a randomized. So, it should be randomized. Come on my butt, bro. Come on. I'm biking in a tunnel. You telling me no Pokemon wants to say hi? There we go. Magneton? Oh, we have Stepchu, but Magneton is so cool. I'm just saying that there are Pokemon here. Ah, gotcha. Anugus. Oh. No Magnezone, yeah. Let's quick attack you. It's not gonna do much, but yeah. It's gonna... Don't hit yourself. Oh, good boy. He has Supersonic, which could be annoying to enemies, but obviously probably not gonna use him much. Let's use a Great Ball. Let me not forget to write down Fury Path. Oh, come on my butt, Magneton. What are you doing? You want a Pokeball? What do you want? Are you kidding me? Bruh. Bruh. There we go. What are we naming it? Is that, yeah. What do you guys want to name it? Triple P? PPP, because he's 3 eyes? What do y'all think? Snowball? The hell is that? Among Us? Ugh, fine. I wanted to have a theme, but I guess I'm just gonna name him Among Us. Probably not gonna use them anyway. Okay. Route 112. We already caught a Pokemon here. It's very tricky if you don't write it down. Give me all the berries. Give me all the berries. Give me all the berries. I'm I wanted to double battle there. Oh, no. A Plusle. I won't gonna die. Let's go with Daddy. Daddy needs some XP. Daddy needs some love, baby. Daddy should be the strongest. He's Daddy and our starter. Why did I use that? Pinocchio. No, we're just gonna Ember you. There you go. Daddy level 28. Let's go, baby. Come on. Ooh, a Laleep. Kind of cool Pokemon. Kind of an annoying Pokemon at the same time, though. Could have a rock move. And acid. What an annoying move. Okay, we're good. Didn't pay attention. Claydol. Claydol is one of those Pokemon that's like... Sheesh! The hardest gym battle is going to be against the 7th gym. I just thought of that randomly in my head. Okay, this is back on Route 111, which we caught a Pokemon on. That's basically fodder for our guys. Daddy has some issues. Ooh. I mean, what? Daddy does have some issues. He has to level up. Rayquaza? Oh. We need Ice Beam already. Rock beats Rayquaza. What are we gonna Rock Smash him? Oh my god, why are we going up against a... He could have a flying move. Right, guys? We're gonna go with Stepchu. I said it. You said it earlier, yeah. Oh, come on. I love that sound, though. He's a low level. Kind of want a potion, but should be fine here. Oh, he has ancient power. Okay, it didn't do as much as I thought it would. Now that you have something to deal with, Kyogre, you'd get Rayquaza. Ah, you did say that, yeah. Alright, we're gonna heal up here. We're not taking risks, even though he's a low level. It's freaking Rayquaza, bro. And why wouldn't we heal up, you know? Scary face, what a loser. Are you serious? Oh, we're both paralyzed. Are you serious? Stop ancient powering. Are you serious? Oh, there we go. We're good. Okay. Not bad. Oh, yeah. You're a rich kid. You have a super potion. I mean, all it means is Thunderbolt will kill this time. Okay, we're good. We're good. Why should I have another Rayquaza? Seadra, okay. Seadra is very different. You did say that, G. You're so excited that you said that. I mean, yeah, good on you saying that, to be honest. I don't want to verse you again, rich kid. Jesus. Give me it. Give me it. Give me secret power, baby. We're not going to use a secret base, though. Yes. Actually using cut. Heal me up, baby. Heal me up, grandma. I love you. Oh, you're so sexy. I mean, what? We're going to go. Sorry, I just love when I call something and it happens. No, like, good on you, yeah. But I mean,
if we do the calculations, it was inevitable.
I'm just gonna pan to the game because I feel weird that I just did that. Anyway, let's get some raspberries and some oran berries. Sheesh. Yeah, we'll verse you. I think she has a bunch of Pokemon. She has 3 Pokemon. Yo, Stepchew is just killing it. Look at all these water Pokemon. Okay. Okay. Rich kid. Look at all these. Oh, level 29. Let's go. Latias. We should kill Latias. Stepchew is a pro. Oh, he has Wish. Should I use... I'm actually taking a... Okay, he missed. We're gonna change to Daddy. Oh, that did a lot more than I expected. Wait, this actually might be a hard battle. Oh, never mind. Steel Wing actually demolishes him. Yo, how much are you gonna use Wing? Wish, there you go. PP, let's go, PP! Learn and Stomp. Zapdos! What are these Pokemon? Jesus. And thankfully we got Sun. Oh, and Wish would have came true. Really? He has Peck? Oh, it did like no damage. Are you serious? Okay, okay. Okay, I shouldn't be scared. They're such low level, it's fine. I don't want to be friends with you. Why do all the strong players want to be friends with me? Who said this was going to be a boss rush? I know, right? Okay, we're good, we're good. We got Grandmama taking care of us. Oh! I'm so stupid. I forgot we could actually go up these. Because we don't have the other bike. Jesus, stop training like a crazy man. Blissey. It takes me back. Oh, let's use Rollout. I want to use Rollout for once. Let's go. That actually worked out perfectly. I think here we could... Don't want to do that. Yeah, useless. We can make a secret base in the rocks. Secret bases were so cool. Especially if you had friends. I didn't have friends. But I used to do it with my cousin, who I guess was my friend. I guess. Route 113. New Pokemon, guys. New frickin' Pokemon. Where's my pen? There it is. We progressed quite a bit today. As I say that, we get demolished. Imagine. Imagine having friends. I know, right? Alright. New Pokemon, baby. New Pokemon. Come on. Okay. Okay. Actually, okay. I'll take that. A Steelix? That's a sexy Pokemon. That's a sexy Pokemon. That's actually great. Oh, he has binds. We're gonna use Fake Out. I don't think it'll kill him. Yeah, okay. That'd be a good tank for switching into. Yeah! That's what I'm thinking. Knockoff isn't super effective, right? What is Steelix? Steelix weakness. Has a lot of weaknesses, though. Fighting ground, water, fire. Not dark, though. This shouldn't kill him. This does like 20 damage. Yeah. Knockoff is good. Yeah, we're just gonna keep knocking off. And he has rock moves. Ooh, defense sharply fell. That doesn't look good, actually. Come on, Great Ball. More like Steel 6. Funny. Come on, Steelix. Come on, my butt. Come on. This is a good one, Diego. Good one. Oh, this is my reaction to your joke, Diego. Oh. I'm getting so excited because we're getting good Pokemon. Whew. That was a bad early start to the Nuzlocke, but things are looking up now. Oh, come on my butt, man. Just get caught, Steelix. Bro. We're actually starting to take some damage. I guess I'll do more damage on him. I was freed from bind. Yeah, we should be good now. Come on, Steelix. I just hit you a bit more to show you what we're about. Let's go, baby. What are we naming her? that was funny, I guess, Diego. That was kind of funny. Steelix. I don't think we have sister. Or daughter. Yeah, we don't have daughter. Your daughter. Your daughter. Name her Diego? No, daughter. Every time I name people after you guys, they either die or they're sucky Pokemon. I want to name her daughter. It's a whammon. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Diego. Maybe later, Diego, okay? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I feel bad. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna cry. They don't pay me enough. And by they, I don't know who I mean. Next thing you know, you'll get a Ho-Oh in the grass and you'll kill it due to a crit. Imagine. Or imagine it's just... Bro, the scariest are the Reggies. They just freaking, They just have explosion. Like, why? Okay, we'll have to add Steelix in the next town. Or go all the way back. Which I guess is fine. Because there are quite a bit of trainers here to verse. I'm just going to double check that this was Route 113. Let's go. Whoa. Look at these bike skills. Alright? You guys wish you had bike skills? Look at this. Alright? I never crash starting now. Now. Look at the skill. Wait, what was the point of that? I can't even go through the... Wait, I can? Oh. Oh, these bike skills suck. Just ignore it. If you get a Vulpix or Ninetales, please name it after me. Is that your favorite Pokemon? I'll try to remember that. Have you ever tried naming a Pokemon Cashew? No, but I definitely should name a Pokemon Cashew, especially if it looks like a cashew. We did name some Pokemon after some people, but that was the last run that we died in. I want them to be a family, okay? This is a theme. Next Nuzlocke, maybe I'll name it after you guys. But this Nuzlocke, look at that. We got Daddy, we got Mommy, we got Son, we got Stepchew, we got Pee-Pee, and we got God, okay? So, enough said. I'm such an idiot. There's kind of no point of going back because we need Rock Smash. I tend to not force my food to fight in a dog fight. Why not? It's a good time when you make cashews fight. What Pokemon looks like a cashew? I don't know, but I'm gonna assume there's at least one because it's Pokemon. Alright, Steelix is actually sexy. Steelix is actually sexy. So, we're probably gonna take Mommy out. For now, we're gonna exchange it with Executor. Just to have... You know what? Our guys are kind of OP right now. I'm gonna exchange... Nah, but we need them to be OP, let's be honest. We're gonna take his... We're gonna take his XP share. And we're gonna give it to Steelix. Just so she goes up a few levels, okay? Now, I want to also see what each Pokemon is and their weaknesses. Because I don't want them all to have one weakness and just get owned by one thing, you know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? So we just put Executor in. We have, I'll reach out in a moment too. What's his name? God? I forgot his, Shedinja. We have Shedinja, which is weak to quite a lot actually. We got Hariyama. Freaking Sun coming in clutch. We got Daddy Boy. We got, oh, I wrote Daddy. We got Charizard, and we got Charizard, Hariyama, Steelix, Executor, Shedinja, and Raichu. Can't think of any? You know what? I'm gonna look it up right now just because we're talking about it. Pokemon that looks like a cashew. Apparently, Hoppip looks like a cashew. Yeah, I guess none of them do. I don't know. Okay, Raichu's weakness is ground, which is really good because it's only one weakness. Charizard is water, electric, right? And rock. Someone correct me if I'm wrong on that. Hariyama is psychic, flying, and one other thing that dark maybe? No. Hariyama weakness. I always forget. Fairy. So just flying and psychic. There's no fairy in this game. And Steelix weakness. I think we already went over it, but ground, water, fighting, and fire. Oh, he has a lot of weaknesses. That's not good. Water, fire, ground, fighting. So we have rock, ghost, dark. Shedinja basically dies from everything. Okay. But Raichu is the only... Raichu and Steelix both die from ground. Okay. Hariyama's... The only... Hariyama and Shedinja died by... And Executor died from flying. Bro, most of the team just dies from everything. That's what I just figured out. It's literally like a bruh. Most of the team just dies. Fairy doesn't exist. Yeah, I remember it after reading it. Weakness more like Ping is weak. Bro, you're getting worse and worse with your puns or your jokes. What does that mean? We're gonna take the lucky egg and we're gonna give it to Daddy-chan because Daddy-chan needs some love, guys. Am I right? Can we get some hearts in chat for Daddy-chan? Don't you love when streamers say like try to farm certain emotes and they're like huge streamers with like thousands of viewers, and I'm saying it to you guys? But if I see a heart, it'll mean much more because, yeah, I don't know. I realize that when I get tired and I'm excited, I don't make sense. Okay, no static Pokemon there. Technically, we could just keep doing Rock Smash for a static Pokemon, but yeah, we're not going to do that. And we got to go all the way here. Oh, don't fight. Oh, now a Dragonair pops up. Oh, this game is racist. Anyway. Oh yeah, this is actually fairly easy to get back into. Ooh, a Noctowl would have been sick to catch. Alright. Let's see, what do you have? A Beldum. Oh, Beldum would be so sexy to catch, actually. Can we get some cashews in chat for Daddy? No hearts, though. I see how it is, guys. I would put my sad music, but I'm too lazy to figure out how to do it. Wait, I got it. Here. Guys, no hearts in chat. I didn't see any hearts. I don't... Alright, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. You guys are just like my parents. You don't love me. It's fine. It's fine. Oh my god, that Rattata looks disgusting. Alright. A big mushroom. You know what that means? We're doing shrooms tonight. Yeah, I'll do the triple battle. You guys suck probably anyway. Let's go! Gonna Ember you, and we're gonna Thunderbolt you. You're dead. Shelgon. Shelgon. Shelgon? I always forget what kills Shelgon. Apparently, that doesn't, but Shelgon's dead. Let's Ember you, and let's use a Thunder Shock here. Oh, we don't even need to. And he's dead. I like Armaldo. Armaldo is such a cool looking Pokemon to me. Yeah. Ooh. Everything, there's so many water Pokemon. I don't know if it's just the game or it's just how it is. Daddy level 29. What was next? Hariyama boy! Hariyama! I guess you're heartless. Aw, I just wanted to say that. I didn't see it! I'm looking at chat. It's not like chat moves so quickly I wouldn't see it. Jesus, can you not hit me so many times? I'm gonna risk it. Technically, if I miss here, it could be bad. We're fine. Can we go around them? We can. Okay, let's not screw this up. A red shard. Yo. Are you serious? No, move. Oh my god, I just wanted to see if there's anything here. Let's go. We keep getting these. I'll snip and post to Discord. Okay. Maybe it doesn't show on my side. I'm sorry. I apologize. Unless you're lying to me, then I don't apologize. Sneasel is such a cool Pokemon, but such a sucky Pokemon from my understanding. At least we didn't get a Rattata on this route. Could always be worse, you know? You know what I'm saying? A Whiscash would have been interesting, though. Really interesting. A Kakuna? Oh, come on, bro. Come on. I took you out before I was born. Slide under my Did she just say slide under my parasol? Is she in love with me? Oh my god. You're very good at this. I must say I'm very impressed. What the hell's wrong with her? Sure, let's do a double battle. I don't like that Charizard is low on health, but I'm also not that scared of these guys for some reason. So we're gonna try to take out Water Boy here. Yeah, easy. What is convert? He just changed into a Psychic type? The hell? Well, he's dead. That was easy to take out the couple. Weevil's pretty good though. Is it? I feel like it's cool, but it's not like a good Pokemon. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. Citrus Berry, nice. I don't know why I got so excited for a Citrus Berry. Ooh, another Steelix. I already have your sister. That sounds wrong. Give me that suit sack, baby. I love having sex in my bag. I don't know. Alright, let's see. Are you gonna verse me? Oh my god. She's not even hiding well. Alright, we're gonna Ember you. Yeah, you're dead. I'm so this is when when you lose Pokemon. When you get so cocky, you know what I mean? Like, I'm so cocky right now. I'm like, look at this. It's so easy. I'm gonna screw up one time, fast forwarding, and someone's gonna die. Let's go. Let's talk to Big Boy. Bruh! He was avoiding me. We're almost at the next city. Ice Pokemon are especially good in the early games. Ooh, that's a good point. I didn't think about it like that. That's a very good point. Now it's just taunting me, but the game's taunting me by showing it over and over. Light screen? The heck? Okay, I get it, Steelix. You want your daughter back. I don't care. Ooh. Let's get Stepchew in here. Bro, Stepchew. Show Crobat. Get the hell out of here. Daddy's level 30. Let's go, baby. Damn, we're actually demolishing. There's a double battle here. Yellow Flutes. Isn't that for Snorlax? Yeah, we don't want that double battle yet. Never know what Pokemon people have. Oh my god, is that the one and... Is that the one and only Lan? Wait, that's not her name, right? Lynette? I knew that. I forgot her name. Alright, we're gonna go here and do the double battle. Come on, baby. Let's go. Easy. These are scarier than trainer battles sometimes. Jesus, I killed it in one shot. And I killed a Wigglytuff by accident. I'm just so good at video games. Oh my god. Wait, why did I use Thunderbolt? That was really dumb. Quick Attack? Whoa, Quick Attack did a lot of... Oh, no. You know what? It's a level 9. No, it's a level 19. What is it gonna do to me? That was kind of scary just to hear. Okay, we're fine though. Huh. It's too easy. Let's go, Fowler Boar. We might end it soon. This is way too easy, you know? Like, I know I'm being cocky, but Jesus. We have 3 badges. Oh, they're level. They're going up in level, but they're still sucky, cocky. What the hell was that? Did we just get Dig? Hey, good morning, Nathan. You just woke up? Wait, is brother here? Yo, what's up, brother? He didn't give me a... Wait, am I stupid? He didn't give me a... I thought he gives me a fossil. What a fascist. Roar. Roar is okay, I guess. This should be fine. Snorlax is actually pretty interesting to see two normal type Pokemon. We'll take out the Zigzagoon first. And we're fine. Easy. You get to pick between the two fossils in the top right area of the desert. So why'd he say you want a fossil? What an asshole. Morning, Nathan. Yeah, morning, bro. Okay, Seal should die. Oh, does he have Steel Wing? Steel Wing's actually good on Daddy. Because Daddy kind of sucks right now. Kadabra should be fine. I didn't even see what the next... Should be fine. Oh my god. We're actually just demolishing them. Ooh, we could have had a Stallion. Oh my god. Why'd you poison me? Okay. We're gonna buy more Great Balls here. Okay. Yeah, we definitely need more Great Balls. We have a lot of money too. I don't want to spend all the money because I want to be prepared for the Elite Four. Obviously, that's the scariest part of the game. We could get Super Repels. That might be useful actually. What do you guys think? Hey, Nathan, contributing, nice. Now we'll get only a few. Probably should get more. And yeah, I'm gonna get an escape rope. Escape ropes are good. We got like 2, because I think you could find some sometimes. So. Okay, so here... Huh. Technically, we have a level 20 daughter now. It might be time to get rid of Mommy. It might be that time. I don't think we need Rock Smash, right, guys? Anywhere else. Let's see. So we're gonna get Executor back in here and Mommy out of here. Sorry, Mommy. It's the first time they're separated, Daddy and Mommy. It's very sad. Yo, what's up, Aqua? I thought you'd be done by now. Your streams have been earlier for the past 2 streams. True, that is true. Yom Kippur was good. Was that the last? Was that the last time we spoke? Jesus, Yom Kippur was good. Yeah, I played a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh with my cousin and my brother, so that was quite fun. This game, on the other hand, oh, we could fish here, right, guys? This game, I've figured out the cheat code. Just be amazing. We haven't been to Route 114. We're gonna catch a new Pokemon here. Let's see what we're gonna get. I didn't even realize I'm so dumb. Okay, let's just use this real quick. Then I'll read chat. Come on. See what we got. Fish, get the legendary. Okay. Actually, okay. Actually, pretty good. Wobbuffet. Wow. Wobbuffet. That's... I did not expect to Wobbuffet, guys. Do I want to add Wobbuffet to the team? I'm going to have to figure this out later, but Wobbuffet's move type could be very useful. That was only a week ago. Bro, time flies. You lost a sub? That was only... Did you last the whole 20? Of course I lasted. So, since I was 14 years old... Since I was 12 years old, so technically you're supposed to start when you're 13. But I did a test run when I was 12. I've never not done 25 hours without eating or drinking. I am dedicated. We kind of have a full team here, so it's kind of hard to decide what to do here. He's also very low level, and we just got rid of our Sucky guy. I guess we could get Daughter out and use Tackle. It has Shadow Tag. Oh, you stupid, stupid Pokemon. We are not gonna catch you now, are we? I'm saying 10 Great Balls. If we don't catch her in 10 Great Balls, then we're not catching her. I see 2 streamers and they both PP stream. What? What does that mean? What did you have as your first meal? We usually have a big feast. I didn't pay attention, to be honest. Destiny Bond could be so useful, actually, getting Wobbuffet. So close. What did we have? I think I had... I actually went with my family. Well, with my cousins. After shul, we went there for, like, not that long. We went to, like, a deli, and we bought, like, a Kit Kat and Snapple Peach. So that's what I had. That was the first thing I had when the fast was over. I'm not horny, Nathan. I'm just happy. Oh my god. Can you, like, get caught? I really want this Wobbuffet. I'm gonna use a Pokeball. What? Pokeball? Oh, so close. Destiny Bond could be so... It'll take out any Pokemon. It's such a, like, crazy thing to have on the team. Let's go! Let's go. Only thing is Wobbuffet has to go first. So I'll need to add that thing. Quick Claw or whatever, that makes it go first. What are we nicknaming her? You know what? How about Aqua, since Aqua's in chat and she's blue? We're gonna go with Aqua. I know I ask you guys and then I put my own thing sometimes, but yeah. We're gonna go with Aqua here. That could be... She could be very useful in the future. Whopper. Too late. Sorry. Yeah. Are you serious? And Eevee would have been so smexy to get. Probably have Jolteon though or something. Okay, this should be fine. Oh my god, this is actually perfect. We're just demolishing everything. We don't need Harden. Aqua from anime? No, Aqua from chat. Best Pokemon. Yeah, I'm probably not gonna use them much, but I think that Pokemon's gonna come really clutch in the future. There she is. She gives me a doll. That's all she gives me. What a loser. Anyway, it's fine, I guess. I think we could verse this guy. Okay, this should be fine. What was that? Ooh, Chikorita. I love me some Chikoritas. That sounded weird. A Muck. I need to get a better... once he gets to level 34, he gets Wing Attack, I think? And then he gets Flamethrower or something soon. So he should be doing pretty amazing soon. Best Pokemon. What were your favorite foods in Japan? Did you try anything? Oh, yeah. I mean, I had a lot of weird food. Just because my... For lunch, I would have weird food. Because I would eat school lunch with the kids. I'll send... If you remind me on Discord, I'll send you pictures if you'd like. From the food that I ate. The school lunches. They were so weird. I had natto before. Natto, honestly, it doesn't taste like anything. It tastes fine. But it's so sticky. It's like, yeah. For anyone who doesn't know, it's fermented beans. It's just very sticky beans. A lot of people don't like them. Including Japanese people. My favorite food? Probably... Oh, now you're making me hungry. Yeah, I'm probably gonna end stream soon just to eat. But probably... Ooh, daughter's level 22. There was a place... There's something called, like, Hot Pot. Going to this one Hot Pot restaurant, it had amazing, like, beef. And then, like, chicken at a deli is very, very good a lot of the times. What else is very good food? Sushi. I don't like sushi in America. Sushi in Japan, actually... I would eat over... Oh, you're making me so hungry. And nostalgic. But yeah, there's quite a... Okay, this is good night, Nathan. I've heard of that. Wait, what? Fish bait? Oh, I had horse meat before I left. Fish bait ice cream, I've never heard of that. But I've had like matcha ice cream. I don't really like it, which is like green tea ice cream, I guess. I don't know. Goodbye, lurking. Wait, why'd I use that move? Wait, Ember is super effective. What am I doing? Goodbye. Let's go. Did I just kill everything? No, he's gonna fall asleep. No, we're gonna use quick attack. Huh? I just want him to wake up. Are you serious? He didn't wake up? Anyway. See you, Nathan. Natto tastes fine. I had it and almost gagged. But soy sauce, and I told her I can hold it. She probably walked away saying, silly American. No, I don't know. From my experience, Latios again, a lot of Japanese people are very nice. Oh, he's still sleeping. Get up! There you go. Huh? He's dead! Oh, that was his ability. That's a great ability. Just lowered everything. Horsia. We need to train Pee-Pee. Come on, Pee-Pee. Do some work here. You can't do much here. Oh. That worked out. I can handle it. I've heard it's a very polite culture. Yeah. It's like a lot of Japanese people, they're very... They have a lot of empathy, from my experience. I could be completely wrong, but I felt like a lot of them had empathy. Maybe it was because I lived in a smaller city. Maybe small cities in general are like this. I lived in New York most of my life anyway. But, like, if you didn't like natto, they would understand why you don't like it. Like, that's my experience, at least. Like, if you don't know how to do X, Y, Z, they would understand. Like, they give a lot of leeway to foreigners. Yeah, it's very polite culture. Very strict culture, work culture and stuff, though. My bag is full. Oh my god. That's good and bad at the same time. What do we get rid of? I should sell all this stuff. We're so close to the next city. Yeah, your bag can be full, yeah. They say face, understand the importance of image. Do you think the politeness is genuine or expected? I used to think it was just all on the face, and I really like genuine interactions just in general. Oh my god, we could get a new Pokemon here. Did we run into a Pokemon? Am I stupid? Did we run into a Pokemon and I ignored it? Or we didn't run into a Pokemon yet? Guys, did you pay attention? Or... I don't think... You didn't see one, right? Yeah, I don't think we ran into one. Okay, good. Yeah, I think it's a mix, to be honest. When I studied abroad, I thought it wasn't genuine. I studied abroad for about a month there, for anyone who doesn't know. When I lived in Japan, I really got to know some Japanese people. And when you get people drunk, no matter where they're from, like, they're drunk, right? It's a mix. It's basically a mix. But you could also read people. You could read them when they don't like what you're saying, or they're uncomfortable with what you're saying, or whatever. Like, they would be like, etto. Like, they'll make, like, certain faces, like, etto. Or, like, but they'll try to be polite about it. Like, it's a give and take. It's both, I think. Depends on the person, too. There was one coworker I had. I freaking loved her. She was so... She would be, like, boom. She would tell you anything she thought, like, without even thinking about it. Like, she was very straightforward. She was also older. That's probably a big reason. Oh yeah, we wanted to take something out of the bag. Jesus. What can we give to someone? We could give a magnet, actually. We could give... That's actually a good thing to give Stepchu. Give his electricity up. I think never... First Pokemon. Laleep! Should we catch a Laleep? Ooh, Laleep is a cool Pokemon. I actually like Laleep. I'm gonna scratch him, and if he survives, I'll catch him. Oh. I'm gonna scratch you again. I'm gonna scratch you again. I'm gonna scratch you again! Okay, I'm not gonna scratch you anymore. Okay, I'll take some names this time. I'll name him something you guys think of. Come on, guys. Come on, Laleep. Don't be an asshole. Just stay in the ball. You know you like balls. Come on. Well, if you're a homosexual man, because he's a male, so I don't know. Oh my god, can you be caught, please? Please. 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 Let's go! One less. Great. Lily? Ooh, that's a good name. Lily. Because it's like Laleep. I like that. I like that. Do you prefer people hesitant and polite if they have to tell you something hurtful, or be blunt and rude? Oh, I 100% prefer. I asked a girl out once, and she said no, and I this was when I was younger, so I'm a bit more mature now. But I kept asking her, like, why? Is it because I'm ugly? Like, you don't like my personality? Like, can you just tell me why? Because I just want to know. Like, I was so annoying about that because, like, to me, I would rather know, so I can understand and learn from it, you know? In that case. But yeah, generally, I would prefer blunt, people being blunt with me, 100%. Yeah, cool Pokemon we've been catching lately. Okay, I don't think we've versed anyone here.
With the meteorite, that thing in Mount Chinny will. Huh? I don't know who you are, but if you get in the way, don't expect any mercy. Hold it right there. You're badly mistaken.
And then they just changed music. And blah, blah, blah. I don't think we've versed anyone here. Yeah. Yo, what's up, Doc? Oh, okay. Yo, if we had a Totodile, that would have been sick. But, you know, it's fine, I guess. Come on, give me something. And he gives me nothing. What a useless man. Oh my god, we're not gonna have room for this. We don't need fresh water. Hitmon, we could have gotten such cool Pokemon here. We still got Laleep. Laleep is kind of cool. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I think you could get a potion here somewhere. I could be completely wrong. Never mind. There is nothing. I don't understand why Team Aqua and Team Magma take the wrong orbs. They're so dumb. It's literally color-coded. I don't get it. That's such a... Even when I was a kid, I was like, what? That's kind of annoying only because people have personal preference that they can't put to words. Did she tell you way, though? It's kind of annoying only because people have personal preference that they can't put to words. Oh, you mean it's annoying when people are, like, just rip off the Band-Aid? Yeah, I think it's to each their own type thing. Oh, we already caught a Pokemon here, apparently. No. Yo, let's go! What's up, Lando? How are you? We don't have Rock Smash. Oh, this is the area from before. No. Oh my god, you do have a rare Pokemon. You have a Mew. I skipped through it, but that girl was like, I have a rare Pokemon. And she has a Mew. How you doing, Lando? Okay, Mew's dead, though. Smog is a very annoying move. You are an annoying person, sir. Okay. Oh, I used Thunderbolt by accident. Oh, well, it killed him. Am I gonna die? Oh my god, I'm actually stupid. What am I doing? Okay, there we go. Oh, what's this? Oh, we can't even pick up a thunderstorm. Howdy, I'm alright. Looks like the second playthrough. Oh, it's going so much better. We beat Kyogre. We got the third badge. Oh, it's going so much better. We basically over-leveled our guys. So it's kind of not as interesting, but also pretty fun. Because, you know, Pokemon. And we're just chilling and talking, you know? I'm gonna wait till Aqua... I'm assuming Aqua's trying to rewrite... Sorry, I didn't 100% get that. What can we get rid of here just to pick up this one item? King's Rock. Hearthstone. Raises power of grass. I mean, I guess we could give this for now. Wrong Pokemon. I'm an idiot. We can give this to Pee-Pee. What am I doing? Let's give it to him. And now I can't find it. What? Where was it? What the heck? Oh, here it is. Grass type. Thunderstone, baby. Alright, now this takes us back to Rustboro. Did I miss something? Why are we back in Rustboro? And why did I just heal the antidote? You said a girl said no when you were little, and you said why? Oh, no, I wasn't little. I was younger and less and more immature. Kind of only that they can't put to words. Ah, okay. Did she tell? No, she didn't end up telling me. That was like 4 years ago, I guess. It's enjoyable to watch and listen and interact to it while I play Celeste. I looked at that game after you mentioned it last stream. It looks interesting. I'm happy that you're enjoying them. Okay. Lily, there's so many Pokemon to choose from now. I think what I'm going to do is end stream. No. I'm going to end. Yeah, I'm too hungry. I've been going to sleep earlier. I don't want to ruin my streak of getting better sleep. So we're going to end stream here. Unfortunately, no community games once again. I'm going to try to put community games as a weekend thing. Okay, guys? Because, yeah, I kind of feel bad that we haven't done community games the past, like, 2 streams. We did Words on stream last week, I think, but yeah. Yeah, we're going to end it here. It's a great game, but really difficult. Cool. I can understand that girls just... Oh, no. Listen, I understand 100% now, but I was much less empathetic to other people's opinions when I was younger. And I honestly think living in Japan really helped me grow. Oh no! I was about to end stream. Mukbang? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, mukbangs are so weird to me. I don't know. I mean, fine for people who like it, but I wouldn't be able to. Thanks for the raid. I was gonna end stream right now, but I appreciate the raid. We could go a little longer, I guess. Let's go to community games now, then. We'll go to community games. For anyone who wants to know, I'm basically, right now, purely a Pokemon Nuzlocke streamer / YouTuber. So if you like Pokemon and stuff, stick around. And if you like my personality, I guess. And then I do community games sometimes too, which we're going to do right now. After I save and make sure that the save worked. Let's see if it worked. It worked! Always got to double check. Bada bing, bada boom. Boom. I'll set it up in a second. You're doing it, I was like, and I had to check it out. Oh, sorry. Oh, I feel even worse now that I just read that and I just stopped it. Well, we're gonna put music now. We'll put song requests on, so you guys could request. You could request music now. I'm gonna set up for community games. Sorry, it was just like the perfect time to end there for the Pokemon section at least. I'll continue though. Oh no, it's showing all my information. Let's go to... Wait, what the heck's going on? What is going on? Look at me, professional streamer here. Okay. I'm thinking JKLM. That's a fun game. And we have some people here, and it's fun to play that game with people, so. Let's go to bomb. Go to private. Get the code in chat. And I will re-chat in 1 moment. It takes like a minute to set up for other type of stuff, you know what I'm saying? There we go. And bada bing, bada boom. What am I forgetting? I know what I'm forgetting, guys. Stream avatars, that's what I'm forgetting. Boom. So the way this game works, it's a word game. Hey, she already joined, awesome. I put the thing in the description. I'm just gonna put everything else. 1 moment, please. Green screen not looking too green, not too hot right now. Yeah. What am I forgetting? Oh, here, code. This is code so everyone else could put it. at any point of time. Boom. Just like that. We're good. We're Gucci. We're amazing. Okay, now we're ready. There you go. I saw you were doing a Nuzlocke and let's check it out. Let's go to community game and talk about favorite food. That works. I've been doing a Soul Silver Nuzlocke. Oh, hell yeah! Currently trying grind back up after losing to Claire. Good luck. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, that makes... Oh, that's awesome. Oh, I wish I could... Basically, I'm going to make a YouTube video and it's going to be awesome when I do. But the first run we lost to Kyogre. And second run is pretty good now. There's no level caps. It's a vanilla Nuzlocke. I'm going to do hardcore Nuzlocke next probably, but yeah. Damn, that's cool. This song's very long and someone suggested it, and I listened to it. It's nice, but they're not here right now, so I'll skip it for you guys. You download your ROMs or get them from original source? I download them. Thank you for the follow. I really do appreciate it. Arigatou gozaimasu. Welp. We got Aqua, Chi, Lando, and I. Understandable. I didn't even know you could download it from the original source. I didn't know that's a thing, but oh, you know what I forgot, guys? Forgot to change the category. Bomb Party. This game is quite fun. You guys could check it out now and tell me what you think. Come join the fun. We'll just get some stuff in here. Boom. Okay, cool. Vanilla randomized Nuzlocke. Oh! So we're both doing randomized Nuzlocks. Vanilla. That's awesome. Oh, this is Kingdom Hearts? Oh, this is nice. Yeah, I don't know. I've only played a little bit of Kingdom Hearts in Japan. I bought a Japanese version to practice Japanese, and then I just dropped it. You basically have to write a word based off the letters inside of the bomb, Lando. You can rip around by doing stuff through homebrew stuff. It's not illegal if it's for yourself and for the sake of also keeping it alive. Really? I didn't know that. I'll have to look into that. I have to legit look into that. I don't know why I added the word legit there, but damn. I'm curious though now, Rose. How's Soul Silver? Have you done other Nuzlocks of different games? Let's go with Ron. What? I'm just thinking Pokemon now. What is Ron? Maybe try Prawn? Prawn might work? Ron's? You had so much time. Lando's out. Let's get an awe for that. Ooh, this song sounds nice. Who put this song? Can someone put... Actually, no. Put songs you guys like. What does this need? Lando. I love it. You're making use of your emotes. It's perfect use also. I did an Alpha Sapphire and I was like, oh, Alpha Sapphire is such a great game. Before beat the champion but lost at Rayquaza. I mean, doesn't the Nuzlocke end when you beat the champion? Like, come on. What's up here, Dad? How are you? I've realized that when I stream late night, more people pop in. I guess the hours I stream just work that way. For certain people, I guess. But then my sleep schedule gets all screwed up. Wow, Akko got out. It's between me and Chi. Wow. How you doing here, Dot? Let's go, I won. Come on here, Dot. Show me that. Show that I'm not the best one here. I thought Akko would beat me there. Soul Silver has weird leveling, which makes it difficult. That's why I consider it a win still? Yeah, I would consider that a win. Especially beating the champion. Like, that's the scariest thing I feel about a Nuzlocke. And like, with my rules, I have to reset if, like, the whole party loses. This is the link for anyone who doesn't know. Late night, 8 a.m. Well, it's not late night for everyone. I meant late night for me. We're very international here. Damn. That's cool. So you've done Alpha Sapphire Nuzlocke, beat the champion, and now you're doing Soul Silver. Sheesh. I want to try and get one of those 3DSs that have an output for recording and stuff. That's a thing. I didn't even know that. I'll wait a little bit longer if anyone wants to join in. I decided to continue with Pokemon I had in the PC because of how long Soul Silver is. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, no matter what Pokemon game you do, resetting is it hits hard, right? And like, with my rules, I'm very scared that I'll get to the champion and like, imagine losing to the champion. Even if I have Pokemon on the PC, I have to reset. That's like what I'm doing. Okay, I guess it'll just be us 3 for now. But yeah. There were modified things so that people could record it. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, that's right. Soul Silver is Kanto and Johto. That's why, right? It's actually like the only game that does that, right? Well, I guess Silver and Gold. I don't even know if they do that. Are like that too. I haven't played those games, but I'm assuming they're the same. Soul Silver and Heart Gold are the easiest Pokemon games of all time after Sword and Shield. Really? Ooh, someone put a Japanese song. Nice. I don't know if I would say that, to be honest. I've played every generation game. Soul Silver and Heart Gold. I would say Sword and Shield was very easy. Aside from the Soul and she died. Soul and I can't speak. It's getting that late, I guess. They were very easy, Sword and Shield, but the champion was surprisingly difficult. If you didn't know, like I didn't know, maybe try Fios. That would be fun if that worked. Oh, Bios, that makes sense. He had like over-leveled Pokemon, which if you're doing a randomized Nuzlocke is insane. Going up against over-leveled Pokemon, especially having a level cap, that would be scary. But I guess it depends. Tulip. To win the Nuzlocke, you have to go all the way to Red, so both Kanto and Johto. Red is hard. I like this song. What is this song called? And who put it? Did Aqua put it? Hydrate. I'm trying to read it at the same time, but it's hard. Peace. Is it red? No, you gotta win against blue. Red isn't Nuzlocke rule. It's optional. Well, I guess for Rose is Nuzlocke. They're doing a Nuzlocke right now. I've always heard red. I would understand red. Oh, you put it? Nice, Chi. Christ. It's called Night Running by Shin Sakura? You mean Sakura? Sakura, I don't think is the name. You gotta win against last champion, but you can make it red for extra difficulty. Yeah, I would put, like, champion. But that's because I'm a loser. Rectify? That should work. Let me add it as a reminder to add. Can you actually send me the song, Chi? Yo, let's go! I'm multitasking and winning. I'm so amazing. Did I not put the stream avatars? I don't know why it's not working. It's actually very weird. The stream avatars are not working. Oh, maybe they're not visible? I don't know how I'm this good. I think it's because when I think too much, I don't play well. But when I'm just playing, I play better. Like a lot of things in life for me, at least. Let me try to put this. I'm kind of annoyed that it didn't pop up. Stream avatars. Here. Capture specific windows. Streaming avatars. What? Why aren't they popping up? Guys, why aren't they popping up? Capture. Ooh, we got the same 3 people. That's pretty good. Yeah, I'm gonna have to... Issues on streamer. Sometimes very annoying to go through. Stream avatars issue. Check Pokemon. A lot of reminders for tonight. Okay. I like this song. It's from an anime called BNA. That is literally the name. Oh, okay. You gotta win. Oh, is that the song? Thank you. I'll just keep that on my thing then. Red fight is. I mean, you just gotta prepare. And it's easy to prepare. Yeah, I guess I'm thinking everything in terms of randomized Nuzlocke, and that's what Rose is doing right now. And yeah, Pokemon Unite is out on mobile. Yeah, I know. September. It came out kind of recently, like last week. No. The only thing is like, I don't know if I want to play Pokemon Unite anymore. I'm really into this right now. Aqua be putting too many songs that she loses a life. Ecstasy? Huh? Ecstasy? Am I spelling that wrong? Rectify. Let's go. I'd add some songs with food reference in it. Oh, thanks. When you know I'm hungry. Accounts. That's pretty cool. How many runs are you in, Rose? Peeper, if you don't mind me asking. Well, this song's so based. I don't know why I'm saying based. Oh, M works. When you don't know, you just guess the letters. That's what works for me. First Soul Silver run. Oh, nice. So you haven't died yet. Or like all your Pokemon haven't died. How many Pokemon died? In my second run, I think only one Pokemon died in the beginning, and that's it. My second run's been really good. Ooh, cheese out. Oh. Cozy, nice. Let's go with care. Careful would have been better to get more letters out. Lily. Lily with one L would work, I think. Silly. Flory? Lori? Ah! Origami. Origami works. Story. Tori? Tori means bird in Japanese. Lord. Patch. Hey, Cortez joined. Welcome back. You're saying you're gonna go pro at Unite? Yeah, I know. I say a lot of things. No, Carve! Nice, though. Aqua. Aqua one, nice. Congrats. Yeah, you're gonna go pro and a mobile drop. Oh, yesterday or today. Oh. How's your birthday, by the way? How's your party? I'm playing COD at the same time. Oh, okay, good luck. Chia, are you gonna join in? You can end stream now. I won. We'll play one or two more since Cortez just joined in, especially. I was saying I was gonna go pro until I realized what that meant, and it was just a lot of work that didn't seem like it was fun work. Some work is fun. I like interacting with people. Pokemon Unite, you need a team or else it's not that fun. And trying to find a team to play at relying on other people is kind of hard. So that's pretty much why I decided not to stream that a lot. With Pokemon Nuzlocke, I could play myself, and I still think it's exciting for chat, like, you know, because it's a Nuzlocke. And then I could make YouTube videos out of it, and it's fun for me, especially when I could talk to you guys. So that's why I decided to do that. Niwatori is chicken. Yes. Niwatori is chicken. Oh, you could just say Tori for a chicken. Niwatori is specific, I think. Kiddos still haven't slept, so I need to go throw hands at them. Okay. See ya. Thanks for the lurk. Thanks for the raid. I really do appreciate it. I gotta check out your Soul Silver Nuzlocke 100%. And have a good night if I'm off, you know, by the time you come back or whatever, if you come back. I do appreciate it, though. Arigatou gozaimasu. Sect. I got it a second later. Sect would work. Spectre. That's a good one, too. Me and she have one life. Let's go with Ho-Oh. All I can think of is Pokemon now. Ooh. I want Chi to win now. Or Cortez since Aqua won. Or Aqua. Or me. You know, anyone who wins is good. Let's see. I want to see who's on right now. See who we might end up raiding. Should we raid Ludwig? You know, I know him pretty well. He knows me. We're like this. Oh, Mrs. Blob has rated several times. Rated us several times. Pretty awesome person. But I'm feeling kind of tired. Oh my god, Aqua lost a life. Abs. Oh, this is a great song. I think this is my song. Since no one put songs, I think this is my song, yeah. Ooh, Essence? Ah, she is out. Yeah, ESC is a weird one. To be fair. Yeah, Essence wouldn't work. I don't know actually what would work here. I hope I don't need to guess. Lessy, Pessy, Messy? No. That's a weird word. Letters. I'm giving it a lot of time though. Tesseract. Oh. Lino's a word apparently. Wow, Akko got out. Sexualize. I want to get another life. Banners. How do you get more lives in this game? Oh, you don't know? Basically, you see all the letters on the side. Oh, I'm gonna lose now. Oh, you have to get all of the... You have to use all those letters at least. It has to be blurred out. And then you get an extra life. Good last game, guys. Thanks for watching. I really, really do appreciate it. Arigatou gozaimasu. And yeah, I'll see you guys Thursday. No stream tomorrow, but I will see you guys Thursday. And I will improve on some stuff that I was reading on, so... Yeah. Have an amazing night, y'all. Good night. Let's do this.
Thank you for check out my YouTube channel.